Hey y'all, Grown Black Folks Talk and My Crypto Journey combined. Launch Day, the sequel for Season the Crypto Bull Run for Financial Freedom. And just to show y'all, though many of you already know that it is live, just so we just go ahead and clear this up right now. You've heard a lot about this book over the last several days, but it is available to you absolutely free on Amazon. This part right here. This part right here. This part right here. If you don't have it, the link will be in the description. You can actually see it up here on the screen, but I'm going to copy that into the description for you. But go get your blessing if you're interested in learning about the crypto market. Now, as I shared on my previous video, I intended to make this video yesterday, actually. But of course, life be lifing and death be deathing. And if you watch the video, the interview I did with Mr. Neil M. Jackson, the founder of Artist Promoting Success International, or APS International, you will know that APS, which I've been a part of for several years, 3 and almost 4 now, we lost Miss Mary Hale, who was one of the most supportive, loving Black women that I had the honor of being in association with. So, with that being the case, I delayed this by 1 day. And it turned out that was really going to be an extra blessing because there's so many people. I'm actually only here. If you listen to the launch day sequel interview with Ms. Jackson, I said a lot of the things I would have said here, so I'll condense them a little bit here. The story about this book, in my own words, in the way that I would tell the story. I've basically been in the crypto markets for 4 years, bumping my head, learning as I went, like almost everybody does on everything. And so what ended up happening was when I found out, literally YouTube served me the start date and end date, at least according to what's called technical investing, charting, just looking at the previous patterns, how long it should be. And I already had 4 years of knowledge. But sometimes you don't realize that you know what you know. It's just 4 years had passed by very quickly. And of course, the panorama of isolation caused by COVID-19 had passed during that same time. So we were just doing what we needed to do. We all were just doing that. Meanwhile, I built up a body of knowledge, at least in part. I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not a tax advisor, but I learned some things by having experience in the market. So when I found out the start date and the end date, that Sunday, I also had a conversation with a younger sister friend of mine who was a mentee from my church, and she was getting ready to talk about it, thinking about investment. And I said, I'll do some email about what we covered here, and I'll do a part 2 for you. So when I got all this additional information, I said, Lord, what will you have me to do? He's like, go write your 5th book. And that book ended up being Season the Crypto Bull Run for Financial Freedom. Like I told Ms. Jackson in the interview, if you told me on July 28th that that's what I would be doing, I would have laughed at you and then had to come back and apologize. But for those of you that have been watching my channel for a while, you know that there's a playlist called My Crypto Journey. And we've been talking about the things that go on in the crypto market and about my journey. Well, now my journey includes an additional resource. And in this additional resource, you will find additional resources. For those of you who read the book, you'll find out there's an exclusive playlist for those who have read the book, where I'll be answering different questions that people have and doing videos or walkthroughs if that's what people who read it desire. You'll also find out there's a newsletter that's coming out every 2 weeks, the SCBRFF newsletter. Of course, that's Season the Crypto Bull Run for Financial Freedom newsletter. And you'll find a link to how you sign up for that in the book as well. So my crypto journey is sort of becoming our crypto journey at this point. For those of you that are interested, this book is really there because what I don't want to see is, generally speaking, retail investors always come in at the wrong time. You come in when the hype gets big because it's finally in the news and you heard about the money other people made. By the time you hear about the money other people made, they made that, but generally speaking, you won't, depending on what time you end up hearing about the news and coming in. I was blessed in that I stumbled in at the exact right time, which to everyone else looked like the exact wrong time. The market was crashing out. It would spend another year crashing out. And that gave me time to learn under some very adverse circumstances. But since I came in when I did, and I believe the Lord brought me in, I stayed. And because I stayed, I have a full 40 years of knowledge to share with you, and I have taken the best of it and condensed it into one book, Seizing the Crypto, ugh, Seizing the Crypto Bull Run for Financial Freedom. Becoming a five-time author does not stop you from being tongue-tied from time to time. Still human. This is not a book from an elitist perspective. I probably should just mention that now. I only have 4 more years in the market than you, and the market's only 15 years old. So what you're going to want to do before making any moves is talk to a real financial advisor. This book is to help you learn about what the market is and some very basics about what is Bitcoin and what is Ethereum, what is Hive, because I've talked about Hive a lot of times and I've included it in the book. I want us to learn and have options. Now, I should also say this. The very last of retail investors in the United States of America will be Black women. We are brought in so that we are allowed, like in the financial crisis of 2008, the majority of people that lost their homes were Black women with children. We are allowed to know about certain things. If we wait on the news, we will come in to put the burden of the crash so everyone else can sell out. I don't want anyone, any human being, to be in that position of just being taken advantage of in any market. But because I am a Black woman and I know what we go through, I am especially glad to be able to do this. And that those of you that have stayed subscribed to me, and of course for everyone else who subscribed to me, welcome to the party too. Because as a human being, I hate watching people get taken advantage of. But because Black women are often the last of the last, our ancestors did the cleanup on a slavery system that was going to fail because no more slaves could be imported and Black men couldn't have children alone. We were brought in to do cleanup on that 3/4 of the way through the process. So this is what tends to happen in markets as well, unless those of us who have the knowledge share it. And this is why this book is available to you for free. This is why certain of you have advanced reader copies, because I wanted you to have them early so you can get a sense of what's going on here at an appropriate time. From yesterday, according to the charts, we have 2 years until the end of the bull market, meaning that if you get in and do what you need to do between now and around October, November 2025, you will have a chance of doing better than someone who bops in September 2025. I wanted to give us 2 years of an advantage. I will be talking about concepts in this book over the course of this year. I'm going to spend about a year putting some time in on making it available. It is free until Friday, November 3rd. At midnight, it goes on sale for Saturday morning at $4.99. And a paperback is en route because I know I have people who want a physical book, and we're going to get that started. I wanted to meet October 30th so I could say it's available for a full 2 years before the projected end of the next run. But the paperback hopefully will be ready for y'all in time for Christmas gifts to people that you know that you also want to have this knowledge. Because if you spend the winter and the spring learning, you will be on time for the run to potentially start in April, May. You will be in much better position than retail investors that really are not going to be paying attention until this time next year. In closing, I want to thank 5 people in particular. One of the things about your life when you do things like this, actually 6. Let me make sure you write this down. 6. One of the things you find out when you go through a process like this is who really supports you and who doesn't. There have been some terrible disappointments during this time period. But it's good to know. It's good to know. And then there have been some wonderful moments of realizing that this labor of love that I'm doing is being supported by those for whom I intend for it to benefit. I spent a lot of time in tears yesterday, partially because of the loss of Mary, Miss Hale from APS. That was a terrible shock to everybody who's been part of APS International, but also just from joy because there are 5 of you online and there's 1 person in person who also is a YouTuber that have really posted some absolutely beautiful shares and I just want to take time to recognize the Black women who have made themselves co-laborers on this project as I leave. So, as one thing about me that you're going to learn, I'm not just going to be out here amassing things to myself. If I wanted to make money on this, I would have waited another year and just done it next year. But the purpose of this is to give those of us who would be, as the Bible says, the last shall be first and the first shall be last. Uh, really, my goal is for retail investors who may be listening, and specifically Black women, to move from the end of the run and getting dumped on, as we often are dumped on in this society, to closer to the beginning. And I want to thank Toneal M. Jackson. I just did the interview with her. You get a chance to get to know her. And I want to thank her for having given a wonderful launch day the sequel interview. Both of us had to kind of take a day and get our lives together just a little bit because we were not in a condition yesterday to be able to do this. But it was beautiful the way it happened today. She's been my agent since 2020. She's the reason that my fourth book is out on the markets now. October the 8th, August the 8th, 2020. That's my fourth book. And the support that she and the women of APS International have provided me have been a refuge. So that's another wonderful collection of Black women from across the country who get together in non-competitive ways. And I mentioned her first because True Mystique, I know you have two books coming out and you are extremely self-sufficient and very skilled. We're going to talk about your skills in just a minute. But in case you were looking for a supportive environment to do publishing, and Ms. Jackson is a Christian's Christians, just like us. So a supportive environment that also fits spiritual, and that's true for any of you out there. It's a welcoming environment for everyone. But just sometimes there are distinctions. Just an environment where you can actually feel the love of God. I can recommend Toneal Jackson, APS International. I can definitely do that. And I want to thank her for sharing this last day of APS International was formed in October of 2013 to share this last day. I know that y'all think it's Halloween. No, no, no. It's APS International Day. Um, actually APS International Month. Um, for her just sharing this day with me, especially in light of everything that happened. Both of us could have been in the corner crying. She decided she was going to go ahead and make this happen for us today, and it was wonderful. I want to thank Confidence with Love, who, if you saw the beautiful short video that she made to promote Season of the Crypto Bull Run, is going to meet Noir Aunties this week, Thursday, November the 2nd at 12:15 Pacific and 3:15 Eastern time. So if you're somewhere in the middle, Central's 2:15, Mountain is 1:15. That's coming up. Going to be a wonderful interview. But she was also talking to me last year, and it's in the comments on my channel about how we as Black women need to really take control of how we create and put forward our projects so that it benefits us, and about intellectual property. Now, she and I need to do some work on my first book about how you manage things like copyrights and trademarks and patents. That was my book from 15 years ago. So sort of my life has gone full circle, looking at the needs of the people and the Lord allowing me to create what was needed to at least get it from someone who's experienced. Well, conflict with love is the reason why, and I don't know what happened at the Copyright Office, but I guess God was just good. It sometimes takes them 9 months to get you your certificate. Confidence with love, I want you to know my certificate of registration for this, it came yesterday. It is fully registered. I have a certificate in hand. I'm out here like around the world. Don't none of y'all come out with a, grabbing the crypto bull market book. Don't do it. You just gonna put money in my pocket. But there was a lot of things, and that I was reminded of, because life be life, and there's a lot of stuff going on. But she was a great support to me in just remembering to do the technical behind the scenes part to make sure that this is right. And also, we're going to be doing, we do Noir Aunties together. We'll be talking about this and really what it means for Black women. So that's coming up next. And I actually wrote these names down to make sure that I remember. Vitamin Key, and she has Level Up Single Mom, was a very great inspiration to me. She did a series called Birth Your Bag, and she also has a copy of this and was kind enough to share this to her page as well. And she said to me the thing that started Waterworks. She talked about how I know this is going to be a blessing to me and my children. Well, that's what I wrote it for. I'm like, we're on launch day and we just lost Miss Mary and she's already talking about future generations. And then Confidence with Love, her share, she talked about, I've already given it to my precious daughter. I'm like, we already have generational effects, Lord. I just thank you that I got to do this because I already consider this successful. So, it's got the waterworks going. Because I've been talking in two different books for all these years about how we too have the opportunity to create generational effects when we really understand what to do with the opportunities for wealth that are actually out here and that they're not locked off from us as Black women and as people on Main Street in general. Because I know I have an audience of more than Black women, although primarily we're Black women. Anything that you learn here, you're welcome to learn as a human being. These things do not have us completely locked out. If you can create a piece of music or you have a cell phone, you have opportunities to do things that affect your generations. And it really means something when people see what you see and why you put something forth. And let me add this on, and I think almost all of these women are in my Positive Black Woman channels. Sam Reed Bliss. Sam Reed Bliss has one of those channels that go ahead and put your thinking cap on. You're going to learn everything about what it's like to be a Black woman in Japan, to how to do things in Amharic. And if you know anything about Amharic, that's a very important language because that is the language of Ethiopia, also known as Kush. So how old is that? That's the first civilization. That's the first, that's basically you got back to the dawn of time. I mean, like I know locationally people are going to say Mesopotamia. I got that. The oldest still existing civilization is Kushite. So you learn very important things on Sammy Bliss's channel. And when she shared about the release, she said, I'm doing a review. I'm so interested in seeing what that's going to be like because I have so much admiration for I know highly genius level, what Confidence Love called genius zone, highly genius zone people. Sammy Bliss has a unique perspective, though. Like I said, you're going to learn everything about being a Black woman in Japan, all the way down to uh, learning Amharic, all the way into computer science. I'm just interested to see what that mind thinks about this book. I really am looking forward to it, and I want to thank you, Sammy Bliss, for taking your time to do a review. I really appreciate that. Make sure. And then there's True Mystique. So y'all are sitting up here wondering how it is that, and I'm going to just go ahead and open it up and show you because she does such magnificent work that this kind of level of work is also available for you to get a hold of. And I intend to interview her on this channel so that we can, let me zoom this out a little bit. I intend to interview her on this channel so you can find out about her business, but I'm going to open this up for y'all. Now, I've been doing Zoom long enough. You think I know what a share button is, right? I just want y'all to just enjoy this just for what it is. This is how it opens up on my editor. But I just want y'all to enjoy the detail. True Mystique did that. She also edited the interior. I tend to get very professorial. And actually, it's not big enough for us to actually see the whole thing. There we go. And the mouth, there it is. I have to stop it. Trying to get it to be mid-size there. Well, it's hard to get it all on the screen, but we'll go there for right now so y'all can actually see it. She did this. Now, that's far beyond my graphic design abilities. And it was just so striking. Now, I need to thank my friend Confidence with Love, and I also need to thank a friend of mine, a brother named Terrence Amen. They both said, okay, True was kind enough to give me five cover concepts. And Love and Terrence were like, you need to use number one. And I actually like number two more because it was brighter. We're in dark times right now. So Terrence had the idea. And he's the author of a book that I intend to talk about as we get toward Christmas. The good books for you to think about. Family Business Circles, a wonderful book. But he said, well, why don't you just combine two and three? I mean, one and two, since they have the best, since you like number two, but number one is the one that's really hitting because you got those bulls. And Love said about the first cover, the contrast of the bulls. And so I threw that back at True Mystique and said, can you do this? She's like, well, can't do everything with cover one and cover two, but I can move that Bitcoin over. And So, and then darken that background a little bit. And then this is what happened. This is what happened. And it was such a gracious project. And she was such a delight to work with. And in addition to that, she also has been sharing this book. And in sharing this book, my success is her success because again, she's available, but she also edited the interior. I tend to get a little professorial when I write, and what I really wanted this to be available to the masses, but it's very, very hard for me to bring that down. I read a lot of 19th century literature growing up, and I grew up on the King James Bible, and it sneaks back in when I'm just writing. She brought this back down to a level that is appropriate to reach the maximum number of people. She also she finished her certification, so she is a certified prompt engineer for artificial intelligence. So she's also able to use AI to be even more assistance. This is something that we as Black women don't have to be afraid of. We just have to go ahead and utilize it. So she already has all these skills. So I can highly recommend her for graphic design. I can recommend her for editing, for both, just using the tools that are available to work on the grammar, but also looking at, okay, what's the level that you want to reach, and this is where it is. She also was the person that said, you know these terms, but you need a glossary. The book would not have had a glossary because it's just like, I know what I'm saying, but the point is I need you to know what I'm saying. And so there were so many things that she did that were helpful to this book. And just being able to work with a young woman who is so on top of new tools that I just be up here pulling my hair out, trying to understand, trying to get a book out, couldn't do all that. Thank you, True Mystique, for the work done and for making this book everything that it could be, because I could only do so much on my own. Thank you. And then Trek Star Sam is my sister. And she has a wonderful channel, and you'll find her among positive Black women channels on my channel. I'll post all these in the description so y'all have access. She does wonderful videos on traveling the world. She has a very extensive, almost 20-year, is it 20 years now? It may be 20 years full now of traveling around the world. If it's not 20, it's very close. Well, she let me know today that she was talking to her international, she has international contacts. She's talking to those who are interested in crypto. So this means that Season the Crypto Bull Run for Financial Freedom are going to have an international reach. In fact, it already does, because I had some people I distribute the advanced reader copies to. So already this book is on 4 continents. But Trackstar Sam actually has the international reach that I don't, because I tend to kind of stay here and minister to the people I've been given. But she literally knows people, like has worked with, has had business partnerships and done all that. I mean, she's on like Stephanie Perry's level, and you know, and Adelia Borshot is though. She's also my sister. And it really means something for your sister, like your sister's sister, to go hard for you like that. It really does. So I wanted to end this show by just thanking those of you that have stepped up and seen the value in this. And again, there's so much available to us as Black women if we realize we're not each other's competition. Competence with Love has been saying this for a long time. She and I don't agree on everything. Y'all know, not everything. But we agree on we don't have to compete with one another. There's so much knowledge that all of us have. True Mystique has some books coming out. Trekstar Sam has some books coming out. Kiana Footman, Vitamin Key, who is also Level Up Single Mom, already has a book. Level Up, Reclaiming Your Dignity. I can't remember it exactly, but it's over on Amazon. Hold on, y'all. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this because I can. But you're only supposed to be promoting your own book on launch date, duh. No, no, we ain't trying to do all that. She already has a book out. And of course, it's not gonna come up when I want it to. Of course. Hold on. There it is. She already has a book out. Uh, like I said, you think I know how to find a share button by now. And Amazon decided to do, oh, okay, I see what you did. All right, we're just gonna go ahead. She already has a book out. The level of knowledge that is available just in our circle on the internet of all of the stuff that is going on. She already has a book out that can really be a great deal of help in Level Up, The Single Mother's Guide to Reclaiming Her Dignity. It's a very important book. She's being honored in a very important event that I cannot remember, but you're welcome, Kiana, to come tell the people about it in the comments. I have no problem with us co-promoting our stuff. That'll be very useful to people in the community to be able to regain, because once you have your dignity and you understand that you're not the scum of the earth because someone else made a child with you and then left, you're able to move forward. So there's a lot of synergy going on. And I'm going to put these, Confidence with Love has 7 books out. I'm like, I'm just trying. I just got to fire. Ain't no way in the world I keep up. And there's no competition, so I don't need to. But I'm just saying, if we can just focus on what we have been given to do and support one another, there are 18 million Black women. We can't do everything for everyone. It is enough for us to do what we have been called to do. My contribution, of course, is seizing the crypto bull run for financial freedom. You'll find a link in the description. All right, launch day, the sequel. This is the 3rd video, and I didn't make all of them, but I'm tired, y'all. I need to go take a little bit of a walk and then come back and take some rest because on Thursday, I'm going to be talking with Confidence with Love. And then well, let's just get to Thursday. I'll be on Noir Aunties talking with Confidence with Love about this same book and talking about more specifically about the Black woman aspects that are around this as we continue in this existence as Black women concerned about Black women and girls who are the often least served. Because again, even on slavery, Black women were only brought here to do cleanup. You go do your history on that. And in some ways, when you look at how Black women are bought into financial movements, you see some of the same pickups. But we'll leave that conversation for Thursday. Thank you for being here today. As I always say, thank you for listening. And the link to Season the Crypto Bull Run Financial Freedom will be in the description. It will be available until midnight on Friday the 3rd, and then it goes on sale on Saturday for $4.99. And I say it's the best $4.99 in education you're going to spend because it gives you still from here almost, well, for all intents and purposes, 2 full years until the end of the bull run in the mid-autumn of 2025. Thank you for your time and have a beautiful day. Bye. Thank you for listening.